All right, so we are in production. Today is July 29th. So we're getting close to that August date. All right, we were just discussing logos. The Annie logo, I downloaded one. I'm going to put it in my shared folder, so I will share this with all of you. So if you don't have one yet, that will work. You can pick this one up. If you do have one, fantastic. You can keep working with it, okay? Christian, turn the fan off.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's just always funny because I have to turn mine off too before I get on. All right, so everyone's good with the logo then at this point. If you're not, I'm going to send this to you, so just wait till the end of class to get that. And then you guys were still working on your posters. Now, I know this week was a challenge because we did not have computers available for everybody. Skylar, I forgot to ask you, were you able to get in and meet with our IT guy and get that fixed?
Yeah.
Perfect. So are you able to log into Skype now on the computer too?
Yes.
Woohoo! All right. We're all in now. Okay, so everyone's working on their posters. I know a lot of you chose to work on your page layout project for this morning rather than work on the Annie project this afternoon, just because it was due today. So I know we only had one 16-hour period of time that you guys had the computers back in your hands before we started class. So obviously we have a lot of work to do this week. But I did find actually a pretty cool video that I wanted to share with you guys because this gentleman has designed a number of posters for different major Broadway shows, and then of course some off-Broadway stuff too. And I just thought it'd be interesting to get his insight a little bit on how he approaches theater design. So I'm going to play that for you in a few minutes. And then I thought we could talk about the web banners that we're going to be working on that we'll be able to post up onto a couple different websites to announce and to get information out there about purchasing tickets to the show Annie. I know we're working on t-shirt designs from last week as well, so the poster is kind of critical because we have to have that design to know what your concept is to develop the other pieces out. So can everyone just give me an update on where they're at with their posters?
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you are going to ask us to share the screens. Let me turn this off again. Okay, I don't know if you're going to ask us to share our screens so that we can criticize or whatever about like what we got for posters for development.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, just because I love both versions. I don't know if you looked at mine. I love both versions. But just going forward, just because I am super in love with the idea of having the lyrics on a T-shirt, I would like to use that one option as a poster to develop for the other merchandise.
Okay.
So I would just work on changing the black and white logo Annie to the black and white and red logo Annie, right?
Yep.
Okay, that sounds perfect. I can get on that this afternoon.
Okay. Now remember, one of the key things is that all the information needs to be designed, not just the stuff that you want to, right? So I know we have a lot of content on there at the bottom related to tickets and then times and dates. You have to design all of it. So don't show me a half poster done. Show me the whole thing. And if it's working or not working, obviously at that point we can go through and come up with some better, plans for some of the text. So don't think that you just have to work with, oh my God, I got to get this headline done or I got to get this section done. Do it all and then post it up. And then that way we can all give you feedback and you're not losing that time. I know everyone wants to ditch it. And Skylar posted his out there, so I'm going to download that so we can get that up on the screen here and do some feedback on that. But Christian, if you have a couple more things that you want to complete on it before you post, that's fine. And then we can look at it.
I'm sorry, what?
If you have a couple more things that you need to adjust before you post it, that's fine, and we can take a look at that.
Yeah, okay, that's super cool. I just was wondering just because I was like very carefully on this one, following everything that you have mentioned,
Yeah.
I just needed to include all of the information and have it designed and in very specific places. My main concern was two things. My main concern was which one you guys were going to like better, if the one option with like the cast on the poster, or if you were going to go with like the lyrics where it has that twist, where like everybody always goes, it's the hard knock life, but in mine it says no more hard knock life. It's like no more because Annie is here and you will be happy, kind of like.
Right.
So I don't know which. So that was one concern, and the other concern is I didn't know if you were going to go for the just black and white logo. I see that you want me to also have a try at using this filled with red logo, so that I'm going to do that definitely.
Yeah, I think that'll look nice on your posters.
Yeah, and so all I needed to know was kind of like which one to pick, but personally I'm leaning towards the one with the lyrics, just because I am thinking about having a red shirt with the lyrics on the chest, and that would be very cool. Like that's a T-shirt I would wear personally. So I'm thinking something like that, and just develop the merchandise having that as a focus, as a focal point. That's what I'm thinking right now, just because of what you were just saying at the beginning of the class.
Right. So, did everyone get a chance to look at Christians on Kazala?
No, let me go.
I can share my screen for a second if you want.
Do you want to? Okay.
Oh, okay. Just so that you guys see. Okay, so.
Oh, fine.
This is the one. Are you getting this? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the one with the cast. Like personally, I remember whenever there was going to be kind of like a theater production or something, like just because of the narcissism of my classmates, they would always demand that their picture was like in the poster. Like, oh no, but where's my face?
Yes.
I'm in the play, so I don't know. This, I guess, would be kind of like, look, mom. Look, Dad, I'm in the play. You have to come see us.
Right.
So it's kind of like that approach. And the other one is this one. Now, I'm going to put them next. So basically, it's kind of like the same idea, except here, for example, if you notice, I didn't separate. It didn't give us space here.
Yeah.
I thought it was just because, a variation, interesting. I don't know. I was just like thinking, it's kind of cool. Maybe I can separate it a little bit for you. I can definitely change the logo on both options. And I really love this part. No more hard knock life, because at the end, the story of Annie, even though it starts like a very sad story, right? But she ends up realizing that family is pretty much who your friends are and the people that love you are. And, I don't know. It really stuck with me, this thing. So I don't know, what do you guys think is a better poster? And do you agree or not that I should follow on the merchandise with these lyrics?
Robert, what do you think?
I definitely like the first one.
Yeah, I do too.
It just you're providing something else, not just the name of Annie. You're kind of telling what the play would be about.
You're right. It like a simple image says is like 1,000 words or something, they say. So a third variation could be for me to like incorporate these lyrics in here, like no more hard knock life. I could fuse these two into one. That I could also do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Christian, another suggestion is to make your background the same color as your logo background.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I didn't take the time. I was lazy. I can match the color of the logo, but I'm at the same time right now I'm happy I didn't because I'm gonna change the logo again. So I better just match it to that one. But yeah, good observation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone
Alright,
else?
so what do you guys think? What should I do? Should I go with this one? Should I go with this one? Or should I just fuse it? This is definitely happening. The logo is definitely changing.
You can fuse the No More Hard Knock Life. You like that very much into the first one.
Right. Like like even kind of like what I did. Maybe not even just making it transparent, but just like sticking it like boom here on top. No more hard knock life. Instead of 3 lines, just 1 line here on top because there's this space. It's kind of like negative space, kinda. So I could do it like that because otherwise, if I put no more hard knock live, I could be messing with this cast and they could feel a little upset about it. Like, why did you slap those letters on my face? You know? So.
We won't know until you try.
All right.
Okay, now here's the other option, Christian. You ready?
Okay.
What if you put the image into the letters?
So, like, to have instead of the white, the image.
Correct.
I don't know. I guess I could try, but for example, right here, I can tell that if I did that, I would be missing Annie because Annie would be like around here.
You'd have to change up your letter spacing and your tracking to tighten it up, or you could go all caps with it, right? So there's some options to make the letters a little bit bigger, and then of course we could always change the font to have it even a heavier weight too.
That is awesome feedback all around. So what I intend to do is with what I have shown today, I'm going to spend like a few hours after class, mixing it up, and I will submit maybe 2 or 3 variations of these posters, like final variations to Caizales so that you guys tell me which is the one you like best.
Yeah, because everything else you have in here, it's fine. So you don't need to make any other modifications except for a comma after the number 6 in December. Everything else is fine. Number 6 and number 7, you do have to have commas there. But so it's really about your image and graphic at this point.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, so I think you're going to be fine.
All right. And no matter what happens with like the fusion or like the way I go, like can I have a green light in using No More Hard Knock Life as like my focus for the merchandise going forward? Yes, like the T-shirt and that stuff.
What do you guys think?
Pretty interesting.
Brandon, you like it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do you-
Alright, so I'm gonna.
What do you think, Nick?
Okay.
Nick, you like that idea?
What, putting like
Saying no
text on the
more
shirt?
hard knock life
on the shirt?
on everything.
Oh, yeah.
You like that? Okay.
I don't know about the flyer.
The poster?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I think we agreed that to have No More Hard Knock Life in the poster is kind of too simple. So I'm definitely going to incorporate No More Hard Knock Life. I'm going to try to experiment and try to put that copy here above the cast. so that I can also keep this idea, and I'm going to try to experiment with that a little bit, and I will submit the finished product with the logo changed and the both colors here that match later. All I was saying is like going forward for the other products, the line of merchandise, to use No More Hard Knock Live kind of like as a more, kind of like the focus of like my line of merchandise for this production.
So I think the question that Robert actually had was about the words, right? So are you questioning using the words "no more hard knock life"?
No, I wasn't questioning I was just questioning the whole thing as a whole. At least not on the flyer, what you said. But I would definitely put it on the rest of the merchandise.
So what if you presented the poster with Annie's original words of "It's a hard knock life," but then all your supporting materials, once you get into the play, the T-shirts, the cover for the program, all say "No More Hard Knock Life," right? Because we know the storyline it's about Annie and her challenging life as a child and living in an orphanage and finding this dog Sandy. But once you get to the end of the show, it's all about the great life that she's going to have going forward.
Yeah, what happened there was that like I paid attention to the lyrics in that part of the movie. They're singing that song, and during that song at the end they go from "It's a Hard Knock Life" to "No More Hard Knock Life." They start like feel together like they're vibing, like they're jamming,
That's exactly why I'm saying that. Because if you start the poster, which everybody knows the Hard Knock Life, what if you start the poster with "It's a Hard Knock Life," and then as you get all the other materials, it shows that there's no more Hard Knock Life. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the poster is the beginning introduction to the show. All we know about it is that it's going to happen on these dates. It's going to cost this much money. We buy a ticket, we go in. Once you get in there, you have a program cover that says "No More Hard Knock Lives." You have T-shirts that say "No More Hard Knock." Their tickets say "No More Hard Knock Lives." So the poster would say "It's a Hard Knock Life," and everything else would support the end of your song. Does that make sense?
It does, and I will do that if you want. My only concern was like just because, like for example, after reviewing a lot of I couldn't find a picture with the cast not smiling.
Yeah.
So everybody's happy. So it just like kind of like backs up the idea of no more Hard Knocks Live. They're happy. You're gonna feel good about this presentation.
Right.
But with all the ideas that you just gave me, I have like a field day. Like I better go buy a Monster drink because I'm going to really, really apply myself to this.
Yeah, it's just your graphic you have to work out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll share my screen now.
Okay.
All right.
Who wants to go next?
I guess I can show you what my poster looked like after the adjustments to the text.
Do you want to pop it up on screen?
Here we go.
Did you have a chance to work on your text at all? Okay, so you're still working that out. All right.
This way.
Comments?
I think it's great.
Looks good, right?
Thank you.
So you've got a lot of negative space down in the bottom there above your audience. I think I would space your text out and make sure that you've got your pre-sales tickets as your like your main cost, right? So we talked about doing some hierarchy with that last week.
All right.
So I think if you work on that area and get it off your auditorium, I think you'll be fine. You've got enough space in there to work it all out and to figure out where to organize it. Just remember, Annie is your most important part, right? So as long as that stays
big, that's very big.
right, yeah. So you're using size, you're using negative space, you're using position to help keep hierarchy on the page.
Mm-hmm. Got the York Central School presents.
Yes.
Hey.
Anyone else have any comments? Nick, you good?
Yes.
Personally, I really, I think it's great. It's very to the point. I just think that I would play. So we have like three blocks of like information, right?
Yes.
The Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday.
Correct.
Okay. Well, maybe change the 2019 to 2020 and just like move the pre-sale tickets information and tickets at the door to maybe like if it's gonna be like a triangle that the first block is like at the center and then the one is like you see that how it's kind of like a triangle to maybe move that as a whole a little lower and maybe to add maybe just to make it super. You know, did I show you guys what I did at work, like the menu, how I changed them? I changed the menu even a bit more, and I added a frame.
Yeah.
You know, like frame. So maybe just a black frame on the poster. You know, it would maybe kind of look cool. And I'm not saying like over, so that I'm not saying changing anything, but just you know, like. The frame would go like from the people, the audience up, and then stop at the logo Annie, and then go up, and then stop at York. So just like kind of like a frame. I don't know. Maybe that would be. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know, but it's fine as it is. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, he still has work to do, so that's great feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, just remember, I couldn't access the.
Right, we didn't have computers this week. So yeah, so let's get that work done, and I think you'll be in good shape. And
Right.
think about, you know, at this point now, what would you want to put on your T-shirt? What would you put on your tickets? What would you put on your web banner ads? Right. So, you know, those are the pieces are here, but what are we going to do going forward to make them work?
All right.
Okay.
I'll keep that in mind.
Awesome. All right. Anyone else want to share their screen?
Stop sharing.
All right, I'm going to share mine then. I have Skylar's that I downloaded, so I'm going to pull Skylar's up. Okay?
The one with the buildings.
Yeah.
So I saw that. Because I'll.
Yep, he sent it over. So I'm just going to pull that up so we can talk about Skylar's poster. So, Skylar, you chose to put a black bar across the bottom. Do you want to talk to us about that a little bit?
So I thought that putting the black bar there would kind of make it draw your eye to the information and keep it separate from like the images and stuff.
Yeah.
And it would just be like better to organize it.
Right.
Are you sharing the screen?
I am. Can you not see it?
No.
Sometimes when you come off a screen, let me try turning it off and then I'll turn it back on.
Is everyone computers working now?
All right, can you guys see that?
Yes.
I'll try leaving really quick and coming back.
Okay, yeah, come on back in. I'm just going to get this out of the way. When you guys share your screens, I'm trying to keep it on my screen that I'm recording so that way you guys can actually see what it is we're talking about in the recording.
Oh yeah, Janine, my computer's still working, so.
I'm so glad. Well,
So
wait
far,
till
so-
August 1st and then text me and let me know. That's the day I'm nervous. So that's the day I need to know it's still working.
How's everyone else's computer?
They're back up and running. So Skylar, Robert, and Brandon all brought theirs in yesterday, and he didn't have to trade the computers. He just was able to get the software back up and working. So
Yeah, I don't know if he did that with mine or not.
yeah, but the beautiful part is that we can now actually log in on Skype on the computers instead of doing them on your phones. So you're not looking at a tiny little screen of my screen. So I'm thrilled. That's the best part. All right, Skylar, are you back on? I'm still seeing him. Does anybody else want to go while we're waiting for Skylar to track back in?
I'm still editing some things.
Okay. And like I said,
my thing.
I know this week we were off because people didn't have their computers. I know, Christian, you were still working on yours, but everybody else has a borrowed computer and we were all down. So I just want you guys to keep working on these posters, get them where they need to be. I know last week everyone was kind of at a pretty good point where we gave some feedback. So if you haven't done a lot with it since then, go ahead and finish that up in the next day or two and then post it up on Kazala. And please, 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 as Christian asked you guys earlier, give feedback so everybody can get these where they need them to be. And I mean, we're doing the best that we can with what we have, right? So let's just make sure we keep moving forward. And I did ask you guys to start thinking about the t-shirt design, how you're going to take this idea and transfer it to the t-shirt idea. Christian, I think you've got a great plan going forward with yours. I would love to see the type on there. I think that makes it fun. It's almost like someone's, yelling at you, which can be kind of cool. There's a lot of singing and loud stuff with Annie, so I think that makes it work really well. And then, of course, looking at the ads for the web banners. And I sent you guys an email last week. Does anyone want to share to remind everybody what size that you're working with?
9x9.
No, actually, the sizes that you're working with are different. Do you guys remember why? No, everyone's quiet.
No, I don't know.
So when we work with the format to do web ads, we have to work with a different format setup, right? Because we have to make sure that we're working with pixels, because that's what's going to be on the screen. So when you're designing the web ad, you want to make sure that you're working with kind of standard pixels. So I've got this article I'm hoping that you guys all read. I sent you a link to it. So just different banner ad design tips, right, to get more clicks. Like, that's kind of a cute little headline. But, the idea is when you're designing web banners, you have to work with the space that the website has available to you, which is why I'm having you guys work with the format. There's two different formats I gave you. One very long and thin and one more of like a rectangle shape, because those are going to be the spaces that they're going to be available. No different than if you were designing for a newspaper, right? So you want to have the ability to be able to take what you've designed and apply it into the space that you have available. And every website's going to tell you what space they have. And in some cases you can do fit in the space and they'll just modify it, but sometimes you have to customize it. So I just thought this was a really good article that talked more about using the space that you have, how to design a good ad, what are some of the standards. So this is what I provided you, right? So you guys could see. And these are just the different formats that you have that you can kind of design standard and then modify once you get specific websites that you're going to be working with. And then obviously, looking at hierarchy, how do you design an ad? We can't have a ton of information. This is even closer to a billboard, where we really don't usually have more than 7 words on a billboard, because you can't read them all if you're driving 55 miles an hour. And I know you're not all driving 55. So now we even have less time to get your attention. And a web ad is no different, because the web ad is going to be a quick visual. And even if you may not even notice it, it's so quick. Right? So you have to design something that looks dynamic, that allows to take that space up. You want to really look for the proportions, right? Offering different visual connections, creating visual flow through it. So please read through this article that I gave you guys so that you can understand what it is that you're looking for. Hierarchy is always number one. You guys hear me say that word more times than I could care to say. But it is so, so important when it comes to anything that's going to be visually connected in less than 5 seconds. And I know that seems like, 5 seconds. That's actually a really long time for most people to look at something. So, 2 to 3 is kind of your standard. So just make sure that there's a flow to it. There's a connection. Just like when you're doing your poster design, you want people to start at the point where you want to catch their attention and then draw them through. And you want them to walk closer to the poster as you get there. We don't walk or change direction when we're looking at web ads because we're sitting here looking at it on the screen. We're not going to change our distance, but we want to catch that attention. So sometimes color, sometimes negative space, sometimes the use of imagery can all have a huge effect on whether or not I get to recognize that. I don't know about you guys, but I have accidentally clicked on web ads before, thinking that they were part of the article or the website. They were so well designed to integrate into it, right? Has anyone done that before? Where you accidentally clicked on the ad thinking it was part of the article?
Yeah.
Do you guys read on the web? Thank you, Skylar. Obviously, we have to include the Annie logo. That's super important. We want to make sure that people know what this is about. And then again, looking for the positioning. What is your goal with this? We want to sell tickets to the show. So with that said, the call to action really needs to be click here, go to Ticketmaster or wherever we're selling our tickets through so that they can go and just click and they can order the tickets that they want to get. Keeping it simple, right, is really important. We don't want to guss it up with too much things here. Too many things is going to cause us to not want to read it. And then obviously, using buttons or having the whole ad be a connector button to go to that call to action, right, to do what we want them to do. Make sure you have some kind of frame. So defining that edge. So in Christian, in yours, you're using that background red as like your really defining point on the poster. I would probably be consistent with that in the web ads. I would allow for the web ad to really be that bright, strong red that you're kind of pulling into all of this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much because, like you said, it really stuck with me when you said that the color red represents Annie. To me, that made so much sense.
Yeah.
So that's why, for example, I feel I did try something like what Brandon did with like the poster being kind of like white in general and just having that little red in the logo of Annie. And then I felt like it was not Annie enough. so I was like, I gotta do it like this other way. And so your comment that way informed what I felt like what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like right now, also, I wanted to share with you that you really kept my my inner hamster in my head spinning, like running. Yeah, you know when you said like why not like have it like being like it's a Hard Knock Live and then the rest of the merch not be different. And I guess I try to do that. Actually, it's very funny. I try to do that, but then I bumped into some merch, some posters and some merchandise that said it's a Hard Knock Live, and I felt like it was too similar, and I felt like you were going to not like it and tell me like, Christian, yeah, it's one thing is to get inspiration from other stuff, but you're just like stealing it right now. So.
Well, I mean, the words are what they are, right?
Just wanted to say that. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. The words are what they are. You can't change those because that's part of the song. So I'm not going to be mad if you use those and someone else already did. That's just kind of what happens sometimes. But how you use them, right? How you use them and how you impact that.
Yeah, the word is plagiarism. I think that I was like afraid you were going to be like, Christian, come on.
No, you're good. You're good.
Thank you.
You're all okay there. You're so funny. So obviously we want to make sure we have a frame that kind of defines the ad. Now I'm not going to say it's not a bad thing if someone clicks on your ad thinking it's an article because obviously they're there, right? So maybe they'll back out of it or maybe they'll be like, hey, I should just go to the show, right? So, but it is a good idea sometimes to have that frame edge just so that you can see where that ad really starts and stops. especially if they're going to be stacked next to each other over in the corner. Sometimes they'll be off to the right-hand page and you'll have 3 or 4 different ads. And if you don't have a defining space for yours, they might actually think that the other ad is part of yours. So you want to make sure you've got that clear direction. So these are just some examples of different ads, right? And how people have designed them. So using solid background colors, using imagery, but you'll notice that in a lot of cases, there's definitely some kind of call out where here it says subscribe now, save 50%, so you just really have to find that little niche. And I've basically given you very little copy to put on the web ads. Really, the goal is to have them click on it so that they go to their Ticketmaster and order the tickets themselves, right? So we want to make sure you've got some good stuff. Now, this actually talks about things to do, things don't to do. Keep it simple. Let the headline really stand out. Any additional body copy, keep it small. And that's what we're working on right now with the posters, right? Keeping that really big focal point and then narrowing it down to some of the smaller information. And be careful that you're not using really scripty fonts, thin weights, things that have overlap. There's a lot of text behind this one image. Where there's just a bunch of almost like clutter, right? Things that are going to distract you and you don't care about wanting to see them. Because in the 5 seconds that I have, which again is a long time, how do I get through all this? I don't even know what to say. There's so much going on here. I can't read through it. So you got to keep it simple. Any font size that's less than 10 point, unless it's disclosure copy, should not be on your ads. That's just too small. No one's going to be able to read it. And just stay away from those really super thins. Using Didon style fonts, script fonts can cause a lot of trouble. So unless it's really, really big and in your face, you're not going to see it. It's just going to get lost. And then there's no point even having it on there. And you can talk your way out of that one with a client till you're blue in the face and they may still disagree with you. I guarantee you they'll be sorry that they do it because people will just skip over it then. They don't want to clean out the clutter. They just want to not be there at all. So, you can discuss that. Using animation. Now, we don't typically do animation in these classes, but you can animate if you want to choose to. You can do little GIFs and that kind of thing, and you can drop those in so that you can have interactive, right? So the little socks are waving here, right? You've got things on the iPhone that are moving. People like things that move. Now, you can just indicate that this is what I'd like to do for the web ad, and this section would move, and I would do this with it. So you can just tell me what your interests are with doing animation. You can animate. There's a program, right, Nick, that we've been looking at called Caricature that you can actually animate things, which is kind of fun. But you can loop things too, so that can be a fun way to do it if you've ever used iMovie or have you ever gone into the Adobe version? What is the Adobe one that gets used for animation? Animate? I think it's called Animate now. So you can definitely use those if you want to play around with that stuff and make something a little bit more interesting, keep people's attention, right? That's the plan. Go ahead, Robert.
When you mentioned animations and Adobe, I've made small animations, and it's through an app called Adobe Spark Post.
Yes, I have used Spark as well. Yes, that's actually a great app. And it's perfect for social media. There's standard formats already in there for Instagram and Facebook and other stuff to do ads right through that. Yeah. Thank you, Robert. Has anyone else here used Spark? No? Check it out.
No.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's actually a pretty cool little app, and you, again, just keeping the formats and doing little videos and stuff. You're absolutely right, Robert. Thank you. So they don't want to be long. You want something that's really quick. Be able to loop it if you want to, so. And then be able to complement but stand out. That's always a critical factor. How do you do something that stands out but complements what's already on the site? Well, you got to do some research. I know you guys love that word, but research is key. And if you know what websites you're going to be putting your ad on, go look at the pages that it could potentially be showing up on. And they usually, so the way ads typically work is that they loop through them, right? So every ad doesn't necessarily show up every time you log into into the web page, they'll have maybe say 20 ads that will be running. So that way there's changes happening and you don't see the same ones every time you go onto that page. And so you will have to really kind of see what other people are doing. What do they have on the website that you're going to be hosting your ad on? And make sure that you're using something that is connected. Now, obviously, we're doing Annie, so we're doing red. So, if you're on a page like this, red's going to be awesome. But maybe if their whole page is red, maybe we choose to not do a red background because that's going to compete with what they already have. So really always pay attention, do the research, and find out. Now, I don't tell you that there's a website we're going to advertise these on. So obviously you can kind of work your layout and design with whatever you want to do. But in the future, as you start to do ads for people, you want to think about what you can do. Where's my web ad banner going to go? And, what's the competition looking like as people start to put things out there? What do I want to see with mine? So that's definitely important. Now, of course, consistency with the brand. We talk about this for everything that we do. And you want to make sure this is the first project you guys have done that we're doing a series of pieces. We start with the poster, we go to t-shirts, we go to the web banners, we go to tickets, program cover, right? So we have all these pieces that we're putting together. And you've created this poster, which you're finishing up right now, that has its own dynamic. Everyone's is going to have their own style. And then from there, you're using those pieces from the style that you picked, and you're applying that into each of the other pieces. So let's say Skylar did this poster here, right? Using the New York City skyline. She's got Daddy Warbucks and Annie there with Sandy, and we've got just the information below it. So probably I would expect to see maybe the New York City skyline show up on the tickets. I would assume that this is probably the cover for the program right here, right? That makes it easy. Maybe we start to see Annie and Sandy and Daddy Warbucks on the web banners, right? So with the Annie logo. So you've got pieces and parts that can all work together. What pieces and parts and how are you going to put them together onto the other pieces? And they all have a different format, which is why I do this project, because you have to work with the format. This New York City skyline, there's no way this is going to work the same on a ticket as it is on the poster. I might have to go out and find a different image that looks very similar that I can use that's more horizontal, right? So that I can get a longer stretch of the New York City skyline. So those are the modifications that you have to always think about when you're doing formatting. And this is a very, vertical format. Your tickets are horizontal. Your t-shirt design is an 8x8 and it's only 2 color. How are you going to take this concept and apply that to the actual piece? So there's some things to really think about as you go into the web ads, and especially because we're doing a very long thing horizontal, which is even narrower than a ticket, and then we're doing more of a rectangle. How are you going to modify this whole design to work with that? What are some things that you could do? So think about that. Keeping your concept. I don't want to lose that part of it. How do you make that work? Christian, what would be some things you could do for the horizontal one for yours?
Okay, I'm here. Let me turn this off.
What would you do for your horizontal one?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question?
What would you do for the horizontal version? Because remember, it's very narrow. It's only 90 pixels high by 728 pixels wide.
Well, yeah. Basically, again, I think that I have this very clear in my mind. Just because I'm so married to the idea of using that slogan, that part of it, I would just go like all full, like it's no more hard knock life, just like with exclamation, just like easy to read. Like you could just like put that on a bus. People would read it as they pass by and be like, what is that about? I'm going to Google it. Oh, Annie, that's gonna be how exciting, like. Because like for example, this one that's just next to it, it's like it's got a little logo, and then it says it's kind of like a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could like that as a bus is passing by, or that if I would even care to do it.
Okay.
You know? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I have an explanation as to why I didn't see some of your emails, because I have been sending you. This is my fault. I've been sending you some information via my iCloud email instead of the school one, and so I never checked the iCloud one, and so that was the thing. I'm sorry about that.
Which is why you didn't get my feedback then.
Yeah, I should have. This is maybe good for everybody to hear. Like, try to always communicate consistently with the professors using the school email.
Yes.
I think that would be better. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Nick, how about yours with what you're working on? How would you change the poster idea and modify it into a very narrow, long, thin ad?
Like the one on the top here.
Yes.
Probably you would have to make the. Well, you don't have to add everything, do you?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, the most important thing would be the Annie thing, and maybe the York Central School presents the Annie. That'd be one of the important things. The time, like the dates, and where the location is. But it had to be kind of small.
Yes. You don't need. You don't. I sent you guys an email. I was just looking for that has all the information in it. But I don't see it right now. I'll have to look for it again. But you guys can pull that up. It does have all of the different specific details in it for what it is that you guys need to have for each piece. So definitely take a look at that, so that way you know which parts and which pieces need to be in the final design for that. Like the program cover, it just needs to have the program cover design with the Annie logo and then the dates. That's it. You don't have to include anything else on it. The tickets do have the ticket pricing on there. Obviously some graphic, so there are some pieces to these that you definitely want to take a look at and make sure that you're including those. So do that, because I don't want you to get there and realize that you just spent all this time putting all this work into the text part that you actually don't need to have. So make sure you're checking that to make sure you've got all the pieces and parts that you actually have to include. All right? So don't get caught up on that. I'm just trying to see if I've got everything here. No. Anyone else that is questioning how to modify or how to change what they're doing? No? You're good?
I think we're doing great. I don't know if I missed it or something, but for our T-shirt, how are we going to work with were we going to just work on what the print of the T-shirt is on the should we? Do you think it would be cool if we made a sketch on a notebook of what we are going for first?
Well, I think it always helps to sketch. For me, it does. For this part of the project, it's really up to you how you want to handle that going forward.
Okay.
So you decide what works best. You already have a layout together for the poster design.
Okay.
If you feel like you need to sketch it out on paper first, or if you want to just do a couple different artboards in Illustrator or a couple different pages in InDesign and try a couple different things, that's also sketching, right? You're just doing it electronically.
Okay, that's cool. That's very cool.
Don't throw things away. So if you're sketching, show us all of it, right?
Yeah, I will be sending you tons of stuff today.
That's great.
All
right.
Thank you.
So,
I have a question. I just was reading your emails that I missed, and one of them mentions something about making sure that the poster for Annie has a certain dimension. And I just wanted to double check right now that I'm with you guys. If you could remind me what the size for the ad is, just officially, how many inches by how many inches?
The web ads are done by pixels. The measurements are done in pixels.
Okay, pixels, and how many pixels by how many pixels?
728 by 90
728 by 90
and 240 by 400.
240 by 500.
400.
400. Why do we have two sets of dimensions?
Because I want you to do a very long horizontal ad, and I want you to do a more rectangular ad.
Oh, okay, all right.
So if you go into Blackboard in week 9, it says final presentation for Annie project. I give you all the sizes and what's required for each specific piece. So you can go in and reference that in there.
Okay, all right. So just to make sure, then, this is for the advertisement or for Annie?
Well, you're starting with the poster. The pixel sizes that it's everything. So it gives you the size and what's required for the poster, for the t-shirt, program cover, tickets, web banners. So everything is in here. And that's in Blackboard under week 9.
Blackboard week 9. Okay.
I did email this to you guys last week too.
Yeah, I must have it right here. I have it actually right here, but let me double check this one thing. Yeah, it's just the thing is, I have magazine advertisement, and it says completed size 8 by 10.
No. That's not correct.
That's what it says in this one.
On your ad?
I'm asking about the ad, the magazine advertisement one. I know it's a different class, but
I'm sorry. 8 by 10. Yeah, I'm not connecting with that because that's our other class.
yeah, okay. So that was my question. Just because, okay. So 8 by 10, perfect. All right.
Sorry, I wasn't thinking you were asking about page layout.
Okay. Thank you.
So, go ahead, Robert.
For the t-shirts, do you think that we'll be able to do a mock-up?
Yes.
Okay.
The only downfall is I only have certain colors that you can do the actual shirt in, but we might be able to modify the mock-up. So we definitely will be putting it into a mock-up. You do have the option of putting it on a man's body or a woman's body. So you can choose that either way. And I know I can do white, gray, and black. I don't know about red. We'll see if we can get that to work. I'm pretty sure we can. It's Photoshop, right? We can do anything. Right? That's a good thing. So being that we're talking about the t-shirts, I brought up the t-shirt options in the Gildan website. So these are all the different colors, and you guys can pull this up too. These are just it's the Gildan t-shirt, and I've got a section on the website and Blackboard that you can also do this in. It's also in week 9. It's the last one called t-shirt colors. So this will allow you to see all the different Gildan t-shirt colors that are available. So if you want to do a sport gray, you could do that as your background color, or if you like the ice gray, you can do that, right? Or if you want to do a red t-shirt, you may want to do regular red or cherry red. So there's just different colors in here. I think it's important that you guys choose the color shirt that you want to do to make sure that it's going to work properly. And then design the logo to work, or design the design to work on that colored t-shirt. You can print on your t-shirts in white. So if you need a color to overlay onto the red, you can do that. But just remember, you only have 2 colors. White will count towards one of those. Anyone have questions on the t-shirt design? Now remember last week we talked about the quad tones and tritones and duotones, and then Christian went off and had a heyday working on that for his ad project. But this is where if you have a full color image, you may actually choose to take that and make it a halftone, so you only have one color. If you are going to do a halftone, be careful working on a colored shirt, unless it's a lighter color like a light gray or a natural color white. The halftones can get very muddy because you're putting them on color.
Okay, so I have a question here. So for me to develop my shirt, my t-shirt, so this one you have like your mouse on right now, this cherry red is just perfect, actually. It's very funny that like that's the one.
Yeah.
I love this cherry red. So I am going to go to, what is it now? specialeffectsnow.com.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
you can do Gildan shirt colors too. That'll give you. In week 9, there's a link to the Gildan shirt colors. You can see them a little bit better.
Okay, so I'm going to, I really like that one. So I am going to start designing a t-shirt with this particular website, or
No, you're gonna still do it. I would do it in Illustrator. Your t-shirt design, because you need to set it up to be reversed when you go to print. We have to do a reversal on this. It's a different mechanical that we'll talk about once you get them done. But Illustrator is going to allow us to do that.
Okay, so what you're requiring from us is going to be the design of what we're going to print on the t-shirt using Illustrator.
Correct. And you're going to be working in a 9x9 square.
And can you show me, using your computer, your screen right now, where Illustrator is, or what the icon looks like?
It's AI. It's the orangey one.
AI. Okay. AI.
Yep.
All right.
Looks like
All right.
this.
Super cool. And do we have like any specific dimensions that you want us to work with?
9x9.
9x9?
Correct.
Okay, sounds good.
And everything has to be designed in that square so we can make sure it fits on all sizes.
Okay, and that's going to be 9x9 inches, right?
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
Does anybody else have questions about the t-shirt?
Not really, no.
How many colors can we put on it, Brandon?
2.
Perfect. Any more than that, and it's out of your pocket. Usually a silk screen setup is around $250, $300 for each color, and then go from there. So if you've got the extra money, you can go for a color if you want. I'm joking. All right. After you guys do the t-shirt and the web banner, you should be working on your program cover and the tickets this week. So I know we're a week behind, but that was what we were doing this week.
I have a question. So for the t-shirt, I want to focus on the lyrics.
Yep.
But for the ticket, I would really like for it to feature the name of the plate, of course, and the logo. So can I do that, like, for different things, like, or do you want us to just like use the same image for everything?
A lot of times the program cover is kind of a reflection of the poster.
Okay.
So I would say stick with what your concept is on that,
Okay. Perfect.
because people do collect the programs.
Okay.
So that would be nice to have that connection. The tickets, again, you can play around with like you want to do with your t-shirt.
Okay. So as long as it's cohesive, as long as our merchandise is connected to the original poster, then we can have like that room.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's all I needed to know. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. The program cover needs to have the title obviously including the auditorium with York Central School Presents, your graphic, whatever you've been consistent with using on your poster, and then the dates. That's it. So it's much simpler than the whole poster. And then your tickets are going to be 2 by 5.5, so they're smaller and horizontal. And remember, there's 4 different shows. So if you would like to do a different design or create a different setup or something for each show, you can play around with that. It doesn't have to be completely a different design, but maybe there's a word or something that changes, or the image is slightly different, or maybe one has Daddy Warbucks, one has Annie, one has Sandy, you know, like picking different characters from the show, but they all are in the same circle together, you know, like using that format and then modifying so each show has its own style. So if someone looked at the ticket, they would know visually what show this was for rather than just individual. Now, if you don't want to do that route and do 4 separate tickets, then you can keep them all the same, but the date that's on the ticket would need to be the date and the time of the show for that day.
I have one last question. I'm looking at the project description for the Annie project.
Yes.
Yes. On number 4 here on T-shirts, it says 8 by 8 format. Does that mean 8 by 8 inches? And so, if that's so, then should we go with the 9 by 9 or 8 by 8?
Yeah. So lucky for you guys, our T-shirt person just approved a 9 by 9 space.
That's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's going to be 9 by 9, and then for tickets, then what's the dimensions?
2 by 5.5.
2 by 5.5. Okay.
Correct.
And for the web banners,
I already gave those to you.
I'm sorry.
I already gave that to you. 728 pixels by 90 pixels.
728 pixels
By 90 pixels.
by 90. Okay.
And then 240 by 400. Because you're doing 2 web ads.
Okay, I see. And the program cover.
So the program cover is going to be printed as an 8.5 by 11. But because it's going to be folded in half, you really only have a 5.5 by 8.5 space to work.
5.5 by
8.5.
by 8.5.
Yep. And the information that you need to have on the program cover is going to be Annie, the title, you know, her logo, the graphics, and the dates.
Okay.
Okay.
Robert, Nick, Skylar, any questions on any of this?
No, I'll just refer to the email.
Yeah, it's all in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Skylar, are you good?
Yeah.
All right.
I one big. I hope before you guys go, I just have a big request. I don't know if it can be possible, but like, since we're almost about to finish the course, I would appreciate. It doesn't have to be, but I would appreciate it a lot if we like try to communicate more via Kaisala, just helping each other. Like, for example, Janine just had to repeat like these 728 by 90, right? And then 240 by 400. But let's say I don't remember if it's inches or pixels or what it is. And so if you guys forget about it and I have the information, if you reach out, I will of course, like, and also Janine just said that she's going to be available, but like, just, you know, like, I have to say that sometimes I try to figure things on my own, and honestly, I realize that that's like taking more time than I need to, and I don't know if that happens to you too. All I'm saying is, like, let's try to help each other more this last part of the course, and I think that will make everybody happier.
How about more successful?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to not just say it. I'm going to try my best to be like, interacting and to be there. I just hope that we all can try to communicate a bit more. That's all.
Absolutely. And don't forget that all that information, I sent in an email last week, but it's also in week 9 of your Blackboard. So please go out there. There's a bunch of really great stuff I have out in Blackboard for you guys to reference. All right. So it's not just this stuff. There's articles out there that I give you. Like I said, the t-shirt colors are out here to give you the link to those. The web banner formats are out here. So there's a lot of good stuff. This is just in week 9 this semester, so just go and find that and you should be able to be good, because I wanted to give it to you beginning of the project, being that we've been working on it for a couple weeks now. So don't hesitate to go out there if you need it. And I know it's easy to just ask the question sometimes, Christian, like you said, but if you're just you're done researching it and you just can't get the right answer, pop into Kazala and ask the question. Everybody here should know the sizes at this point, right?
So I struggle a lot with sizes, and just because I don't know, maybe it's not only that this is the first time that I'm creating things like with that so much in mind.
Yeah.
That I have to make sure that going to print, it's not going to be messed up.
Yes.
Actually, it's very funny that the first attempts that I ever made at printing business cards and stuff, like, I didn't do bleed, so I had to return them.
Yes.
And I lost money over that. So this is all new for me. And also in Mexico, where I come from, we use a metric system. For me, inches are weird. Feet are weird. Miles. It takes me a little bit more to process it. So, that's why I kind of like.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Just, I'm sorry, just bear with me.
We're bearing, it's okay. So speaking of that, I have some really fantastic news. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Are you sure? So
Yes, I'm sure.
as some of you know, this week I've been working with you guys to try and get your business cards finalized, right? So it's been a little bit of a challenge because some of the formats weren't right, and poor Robert didn't have a computer. And so I've been trying to help people out. Some people still owe me files. Some people owed me money so we could order the business cards. But I'm going to go ahead and start my video because look what I have. Okay, can you see?
Oh.
Look whose cards came in.
Oh my
Ta-da!
God, it's so cool.
Right? So I have your card boxes sitting on my desk. And what I really want to do, Robert's are being printed right now. Skylar's we sent out yesterday. And Nick, I still need your files.
I'll send you the money too.
Yes, that would be great. Because when we get all these done, we are going to meet in a park somewhere, socially distanced, so that we can hand each other business cards or leave them somewhere that you can go pick up everybody's business card. Okay?
That's a great idea. And I have to also say that I have a present for you, Janine. I bought into a really fun book. And I just have to get it for you. I told Sam, I was very upset because Samantha forgot to bring it today, but she told me that you're not at campus.
No.
So I told her to just leave it at the front desk, and maybe one day when you're there, you'll pick it up. And also, I wanted to know, how do I send you, and how much do I send you for printing the postcards from the other project?
Do you want to print those? We don't have to.
I would love to print them. Yeah.
Well, do you want to just print one for your portfolio?
I would like to go like for something like, I don't know, 50 or something.
Oh,
like
you
that.
do want to print quite a few then. Okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking about like maybe sending one to my mom, and it's kind of like, oh look, it's a postcard from Rochester, and what's better is that Janine, my teacher, taught me how to make one. So,
So
I want to do that.
Okay. Speaking of your mom, Christian, like how sweet was it that she sent this to you, right? I don't know if you all had a chance to see this, but so Christian shared this. Can you guys put your microphones on mute for a second? I'm just getting some feedback. Okay. So Christian shared this on Kazala, and I don't know if you guys actually read it, but I want to read this to you because I just think it's the sweetest thing. So he shared some of his work with his mom to get some feedback and just to kind of share what he's been working on, right? And she said, Christian, I'm in tears. This is so incredibly beautiful. My most important wish in life, my absolute number one wish, is that my two children love each other. A mother wants nothing more because we know we'll leave this moral coil secure in the knowledge that someone is there to hold the other's hand. I have no siblings, as I'm an adoptee and an only child, and fought so very, very hard to have my son. 6 years younger than my daughter, but they are best of friends, respectful and supportive of each other. I watch their relationship grow, and it's everything to me. Everything. I know even if they end up living in different places, their bond will be unbreakable. How sweet was that?
Yeah, actually, I have to just give a little bit of context there. My mom loved it, but because she doesn't speak Spanish,
Yeah.
my dad read it to her, and I was just saying, all of my family loved it, but that in particular was a message from a friend on Twitter.
Oh, was it? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was from your mom.
Yeah, so it's even cooler because they didn't say it just like, oh yeah, son, we obviously love whatever you do.
Right.
Like, this was a stranger and it touched her heart, and I was like, oh my god, I just have to share this with the class, because I felt that, like, if you as a designer create something that makes anyone feel anything, whether it's hunger or feel, I don't know, whatever, you see an advertisement and it should make you feel something. And in this case, I felt very, very happy that there was a reaction, and I wanted to share that with you, because even though this is just like, not just like, but it seems like school projects.
Right.
It doesn't stop our projects from impacting others.
They shouldn't.
Especially each other. So I want to thank you guys for sharing, and I just hope that we can keep on, building and growing beyond this semester, to stay in touch, to build a network, and just keep on sharing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Christian. I read that, I was like, oh my god, that's the coolest thing.
Thank you.
The coolest thing. So thank you for sharing that. I really thought your mom had written that, so that's even more awesome that it came from a stranger.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so are you guys feeling comfortable going forward with finishing your posters and start working on your t-shirt designs and your web banners?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I really, really am hopeful for all of you that we don't wait till next Wednesday to see progress. So what I would like to see is have you guys post up on Kazala and share your progress. So as you're working on t-shirt designs, as you're working on the posters, as you're working on the tickets, please just post where you're at. Just take a quick screenshot, right?
Okay.
That way I can help you progress, because we are behind, so that we can catch up a little bit here. We still have one more project to go, and I want to make sure we have enough time at the end of the semester for that, because it's a packaging project and it's just fun and cool. So I just really want to make sure that we don't get too far behind. And if nothing else, as Robert found out last Friday, it's kind of cool hanging out with me on Friday mornings. So if you need some motivation to get some work done, just come sit with me. We can just talk about random stuff, right, Robert?
So you're gonna be there on campus on Fridays?
No, I'm on Skype. I'm not ever on campus at all.
We're not allowed to teach on campus.
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I gotta hang out in my new office, which is okay. So if you guys want to log in, you have the link to it. I'm there from 10:30 to noon on Fridays. So come hang out with me. Or if you need extra time, or you have some questions and you bundle them up and you want to just schedule a time to meet with me, just send me a text message and just say, hey, I need a couple minutes of your time, and we can just set up a time to do that. All right.
All right.
Brandon's done that in the past, and we just chat for about 10 minutes. He gets his answers done, and he's ready to go. So it works out really good. And if you wait till next Wednesday, you're not going to get your answers answered, and then we're in trouble. Right.
That is exactly what I was feeling earlier with the other class. This sensation that, like, yeah, like if we work on our projects today, then we're gonna have less stress. We're gonna have more time to make adjustments, to take into account feedback.
Yes.
Because otherwise, so imagine that it's like, imagine you have a client, right? And then you're like, you send them an email with the project, and you're like, I hope that you like it, and give me any feedback if you don't like it. And then and so you arrive to after a week to the meeting to present it, and then during the meeting, there's like these guys like, well, how about we change it to red? And you be like, I sent you an email.
Yes.
You know.
I thought you were happy.
Yeah, exactly. Now, like, oh my god, and it's not that it can't be done. It's just that, like, then you arrive to the meeting with the red variant or the blue one or whatever feedback. So if we give ourselves feedback as soon as possible and work on the projects as soon as possible, I think the better results we will get and the less stressed we're gonna be. That's all.
Yes. Thumbs up.
All right.
So what's everybody working on this afternoon?
Everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's pick one thing to start with.
I am going to start with the axe
Add?
thing.
Okay, and finish that up.
Yeah.
Good idea. Which part of the Annie project are you going to start with?
Oh, what? Me?
Which part of the Annie project?
I'm just gonna. Well, it's very funny. I'm so happy that I learned about the way to add fonts to my Mac.
Yeah.
So that was like a blessing in disguise.
Are we going to be in trouble going forward now, Christian?
I'm very excited about it. I'm going to remind this anecdote.
I was going to
So,
say.
I'm going to play with the fonts and just send a PDF over Kaisala just to show what other 2 or 3 variants look like. And,
Okay.
That's it.
Perfect. I love it. Robert, what are you going to start with on your Annie project? Why don't you finish up your poster?
My poster's done.
Okay,
I'll send that over to you.
great.
But one thing I'm really eager about, well, 2 things I'm really eager about are the tickets and the t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. The t-shirt can be kind of fun, but you're limited to 2 color, which is the challenge, right? So what can you do for us? Let's see what you can do. Awesome. Skylar, how about you?
The web banner.
Okay. Awesome. Don't forget there's 2 different sizes, so make sure you have both of those. And you could work in Photoshop, Illustrator, or InDesign with that one because you're working in pixels, so your choice. All right. Brandon,
Yes.
which project piece are you working on? Finishing up your poster?
Yeah, then I'm gonna go to t-shirt.
T-shirt. I love it. Okay, perfect. All right, so everybody's on board. They know what they've got to do going forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please share this week so we can get everybody caught up. All right, I'm not going to sit here and make you watch the video with me. I put the link for YouTube right in the chat over here. So please watch the video. It's actually really cool. It's not super long. It's like 7 minutes. And it's a wonderful designer who did a number of different movie theater posters. So check that out. Watch that. And then please get your work done. If you have any problems with your computer, Nick, I'm counting on you. August 1st.
Yes, I'll tell you.
Please let me know right away. I'm
Yeah.
so psyched that we all now have Skype on the Macs, which is awesome. we can all share our screens, and what I'm hoping for is that we won't have any other issues the rest of the semester, so we can just smooth sail through this.
I hope we don't have any problems.
That's my goal. That is my goal. So far, so good. So I'm glad you guys were all able to get in and meet with Uku and get them figured out. So that's fantastic. Anything else anyone has questions about?
Yes. About the video, can you email us the link as well?
Of course. Of course. Yes. Anything else? Everyone else is good?
I think we're good.
Awesome.
We're good.
Okay, go get to work. I can't wait to see some of your stuff. Now, Christian, if you bombard me with 7 things, I may only give you feedback on 3. So bear with me.
Alright.
All right, guys. I'll see you maybe on Friday.
Okay.